Hello everybody and welcome to another live trading stream here live on YouTube. I'm gonna do the usual quick sound check just to make sure that everything should be a-okay, and then we may proceed. So we've got a few people here in the house. We have Paul Forster, Pablo, good morning. Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We've got Bert, Van Geitax, Torsten, U Crypto Zero, Sandra is in the house. Hello, Sandra. Hope you're doing well. Chris, hello. Sven, 7G1, H1PS, hello, my friend. Stelios, Davides, hello, yes. Legend is in the house here with us. Stelios, Anastasio. What's with the yo-yos? I like that. Vamos, Mats, PG, or PGDC, Dogecoin, Moondream, hello, my friend. Hope you are good. Nice trade this morning on the yes. Well done. Pablo, Mats, Torsten there. ADC8, Pablo, Mads here as well. Free Energy, Pixafin, Said, Piet, Fori, Dirk, hello. Encrypt TV. Hello, Andy. Okay, perfecto. So, yes, good morning, good afternoon. I hope you all doing really well. We've had a bit of volatility this morning. I actually missed out on, I'm sharing everything probably. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll just go to this one. I actually missed the rise this morning. I was a little busy, with the kids, and then I came in, and I was a little bit too late for this. It was inevitable that we're going to go and see those highs taken as we were climbing up, but I was a little bit like, I don't want to take the longs up here because I saw like the risk was a little bit too high. Because we could have gone all down to at least the lows at 21,800 again. We actually had a little wick there, but nevertheless we did get the push up, and I think Moondream, you were in that trade, so that's nice to see on ES, and we did come up a little bit further to clean those highs there. Not quite on ES, but yes on NQ. But then we had a really quick move, and I was preparing for the stream. I missed the initial move, but then as soon as I came to my desk, I was setting things up, and I was like, okay, now we have the front run of the point of control. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see. So we have the point of control front run. So I'm just going to zoom out so you can see. So there's the point of control from yesterday, RTH session, and the view up just below. So I thought, okay, if we can get a little pullback, this is the 1 minute chart. If we can get a little pullback, I'm going to try and snipe in a little short trade here, above these highs, and push it down to view up. And that was the trade plan. So only one trade for me thus far this morning. So hopefully we can see this turn around here. It's holding steady for now on view up, but there's quite a few orders at 750. So I'm just going to be patient here for a little bit. I'm going to say hello to everybody. We can do a couple of requests there if you guys wish as well, and let's find some trades. I hope you're all doing really well, and I hope your May trading was good. And can you believe it? It's June already, so time doesn't stop. So let's take a quick look at ES here. So we have rejected that. We've not hit the view up here on ES. Let me go down to, no, I'll keep it on a 15 for now. I do like NQ here for now. Let me just focus here and then we can start. And yeah, don't forget to, as always, if you like the content, give us a like, and then obviously that helps the channel, and we can bring those. To you guys. Paul, BTC targets for today, please. Yes, we can take a look at BTC. I've got it lined up. I've got it lined up here on my third screen. We had that nice move yesterday. I was actually on a long trade from the reclaim. I had to wait to see this be reclaimed, and then I took the trade all the way up to that E-session high. And at the time, I was looking left, and I was thinking, it is struggling to break. And I'm just going to put a line here so you can see. it was struggling to break the RTH session from Tuesday. So we came up to Tuesday's open and it was just once, twice. And then we had the pullback, broke one time frame. Let me just zoom in so you can see. We actually broke that one time frame. You can see here the E session high. We broke during F. And at that point I was like, okay, this trade might just, turn around. But there was still kind of like, not the hope, but there was still like a high probability that we could go back up. But then on G, we took F again. So I was like, right, that's the second period now that we've broken one time framing lower. So I thought, this is not going to play. So I moved my stop to just above entry, and my entry was around that 105, 200, I think it was 300. So I moved my stop just slightly higher below the open there, and I got stopped towards the latter part of the session. But we had Germany and playing Portugal, so I clocked out around K session. So I was not even here to see the stop loss being hit. But yeah, at least Portugal won the game, which was nice. But yeah, and then today I can just go quickly to the full session. And I know we're below here, and BTC is trying to desperately hold this. And I was sharing this with the members yesterday at Chart Champions. Like losing these lows here might be a little bit troublesome for BTC. Hence why this is actually a nice place to consider longs. But because yesterday we failed, well, not miserably, but we failed yesterday, I'm thinking today we kind of need a little bit more confirmation here on BTC. So I feel we might run the stops below the lows before we start moving higher. And let me just take you to trading view. Yeah, there you go. So you can see here, this was yesterday. We've left again those poor highs. Yeah, we've left again those poor highs up there. It's good, but it's not perfect yet for the longs. And I feel like yesterday, you can see here, so we had the low that was taken. We had this higher high, okay, here. And then we had another attempt, which is another higher high. So really this pullback should be that buy opportunity, which we did yesterday. We drove it higher, but it just failed again. So this morning we are trading back below yesterday's range, and I'm thinking BTC is really trying here, but it's just not getting that, I like to call it the to the upside. So the buyers are coming in, but they're not being too strong. They're being met with resistance. And the point of controls for the POC, so the POC for market profile for the RTH session is keeping this price down. You can see like once, and then here this morning twice, yesterday 3 times. So just in this section alone, you can see how, well, actually, you can even see this bounce here from this point of control. So you can see that BTC does respect these point of controls, time point of controls, this is, in this trading range. And we've been here since 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4 days balance that we're trading within. So for me, upon seeing like yesterday's rejection and unable to claim at least the range value area low, I'm thinking, okay, if we can't hold price here, and it's okay to take a stop, I feel like we might deviate below the lows to get the required liquidity or buy orders by the market sell stops that will be below this low in order to then come back inside. If this happens, then I would like to see this trade to the other side, which is above the high 107 or 108 and potentially beyond that. But still, I'm kind of like thinking that this is actually an okay low, but it's not doing a good job out of it. So I'm keeping my eye here. I'm actually going to put a couple alerts right now on stream. I'm going to do value area low from yesterday RTH, but I'm going to go 105.400. Okay, so let's do this together. So let's set an alert here just to see, okay, what we have to do now is just monitor price and be aware of the potential setup. So for now, it's clear downtrend. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, even from the higher time frame. Okay, in this 4-day balance. So if we can see price claim certain highs, at least the point of control again during RTH, we can say, okay, well, it's kind of trying to get out. We can go with the long trades. And until then, we have to just wait for another potential lower low until we sweep the low. So I'm going to set my second alert just below, not the actual low, but at the low from Friday last week. So that's going to be around that 104,200. Okay, so if we just set an alert here and keep this nice and clean, so let's put 200, 104,200. So that will be our alerts that we want to kind of monitor. In other words, as it keeps dropping, we keep moving our alert down. So we're kind of boxing in price in a zone where we deem as, we need to be looking at this price action. Okay, so that's BTC. And I'm not sure if I covered this on a public stream, but this is, let me just, this chart here is the Bitcoin CME, but just looking at the regular trading hours. And what we saw at the highs was this candle pattern. For some of you who don't know, and I think the champions will, because they know now, this candle pattern here is called an abandoned baby. Okay, and this is a candle that it's bearish, and it closed bearish as well. So you can see, let me just zoom in a little bit. So you are trading, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and then on this day, you get a gap. Okay, let's forget about this price action here. So on this day, you open all the way up here. So this is the open. So let's put open here, full session open. So you open all the way up there, you look higher, 112,360. And then you come down, and then you come back, and you close pretty much close to the open, but it's a bearish candle. And then the next day, you can see where we open all the way down here. So we have a massive gap in price action. And then we trade all the way back up to the highs, touch the Wednesday the 21st high, and then get rejected again. And the close is actually below. So during one day, we get abandoned baby. We then open this on Friday, and we have a massive gap down, and that to me signifies a sign of change, that the market is ready for a pullback. So we don't want to be shorting the lows of this move, so we were looking at the time to short the potential retracement back up to fill the gap. And this is what we got. So during many morning updates, I was highlighting the gap low, which is here. And funny enough, this gap low on the Tuesday the 27th, that is exactly where price opened. So price open here, looked higher, just a few ticks into that gap, and then rejected, and again closed below the open. So you can, and that's where we were taking some short trades. So since then, it's been expansion, 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 until we got to the 20-day simple moving average. And that's where we kind of holding a support. Yesterday, we ran, and then, the day before yesterday, on Tuesday, we ran, and then we came back down yesterday. So it's very much like BTC is trying to hold the previous range here, which I do have a fixed range. There you go. So we are trying to hold here, but it's not doing a great job out of it. We had a little gap. The gap has been filled yesterday, and that's what I was looking for the long as confirmation and the retest of the 20. But it's not getting that follow through. So it's kind of like clear to say that if we can get above 107, this will potentially, like the odds for a new all-time high are back on a table, okay? Because the trend is still to the upside. But for me now, to buy down here, yesterday I attempted it, pretty much got a break-even trade. And today, for me to attempt another trade here, I need to see a little bit more. This is starting to look okay, but sometimes what happens in these ranges is price looks above the high, takes this out to say, okay, I'm here, I want to go higher, but before I go higher, I want to go and clean and get some fuel needed for this move here. So this move here, price needs fuel, and that fuel sometimes comes below the lows here, because there's going to be a lot of traders that will have their market sales here. So if you want to fill a much bigger position, you need those market sales to limit in your long trades. So what a better place to put it down here. So that's why if we look below and come back inside, then this could potentially signify, okay, we're ready now to move. And all we have to then look for is this. So if we can break that structure down and reclaim, I would not be surprised to see 110 next and potentially a new all-time high soon. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I'm looking for on BTC. And you can, and you can see that for now it's very much a waiting game. Yesterday, again, we attempted it, but it just couldn't break that point of control once more. So let's see what happens today. Maybe we'll get a move during this session. This morning with you guys here, we are holding VWAP here on NQ, so we could potentially take a nice long trade here. So okay, back to the chat here just to make sure that you guys are still with me. Also looking at ES. Yeah, we have a couple of candles here on a 15-minute. Let me just change this to, let's go 5, 15. Yeah, that point of control is holding for now. But that was a big rejection there. Hence why I entertained the short, because you have a bearish engulfing candle that pretty much took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 15-minute periods up here. But yeah, this is holding steady here. Let's see if we can at least break that high again and claim this structure. That would be a little bit better. I'll keep an eye here on DSF. Anyway, let's take a look at these some nice questions if there isn't. Good morning, Igor in 4K, beautiful. You have nice, nice. Yeah, don't forget, smash the likes there. Okay, sound is perfect. Okay, good stuff. Karin is here as well. Free energy, me too. Pixafin. Morning, what a surprise. Yes, don't get these out too often. Me. Howdy doody. Lol, I am banned, never says my name. SJ Trades Futures. Lol. There you go, I've said your name. And there you go, BTC trying to push those 105 500s. Let's put another alert now at the local highs at 745. 750. Okay. Took it to the high and closed. Done for the day now. Nice, Moon Dream. That is lovely. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Sometimes during London, we can get these nice trades. And yeah, unfortunately, I didn't quite get... I need... when you have kids, especially around this time, there's so much going on. My time, which will be obviously between 7:30 and 8, it's kind of like getting kids... onto school can be, if you have kids, you know what I mean. It's a little bit hard, so you kind of have to help out, and sometimes you do miss some of the moves during London open and just pre-market. But yeah, no, well done, Windream. That was a really good trade. Great BTC trade yesterday. Yes, that's it. The BTC. I mean, and for me, it was very much like I wanted to see. Because look, when we look at the chart, let me just go back to RTH, because that's what I was looking at yesterday. When we look at RTH, so for the people new in a chat that don't quite know what I'm talking about here, and it might look overwhelming, but trust me, it's not really. This is just simply like and I'll tell you what, I'm even going to do better. I'm going to take the volume off so that it literally just shows the, 30-minute, call this a 30-minute. Each letter is a 30-minute time frame, okay? So let's just expand it. So yesterday, this is the open. So 8:30 or 9:30 New York time. We opened, we looked above, closed the gap, closed the gap for the RTH, and then closed the gap. So we basically opened in the midpoint of that gap. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that gap fill. And as I said, we've got 2 points of interest. We have one, which is obviously the closing the gap, and the other one was the best one at 105, pretty much. You can see there 105, 104, 950. And that's the levels I had yesterday for my plan. And we looked below, boom, came back inside. But we also look, this is the value area low. Let me mark it so you can see. So we actually did a very good thing. But we do have a poor low. So this A and B, it's poor. if this would have been like with a lot of prints, like let's say like this B session, it would have given me much conviction saying, okay, the low is potentially in, we're going higher, but it didn't. So there's, on the back of my mind, there's still that kind of like, it's okay, but it's not the best long trade. So we want to see a print like this when it forms the low back inside close, and then you can say, okay, I can go full size now and just, you know, manage the trade accordingly. But what we were looking at yesterday was very simply like open, just let those traders come down. On the CME, we actually had some nice bullish divergences, and we came down, we absorbed all of that. On this move back down here on C session, there was a lot of, I think at the time was like 100 and something lots, which is each one of them 5 times BTCs. And it was being really absorbed. And then we had that nice expansion. That was a really good move in itself. But I kind of wanted to see the acceptance above that Tuesday open. But it just didn't do that. And sometimes in trading, it's very much like you may have the best plan, you may, you know, action the trade, but we want to see that follow through. And if you don't get that, sometimes you're just going to have to close that trade and go on to the next one. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. But yeah, it was a nice analysis. It was a nice trade nevertheless. In hindsight, when we were hitting that open, maybe I should have collapsed half of it and then, you know, recessed. But at the time, we still had no made, you know, excess up here. I thought, we can still go back. And then I just left. I said, oh, you know what? And I actually said in the group, let it cook. Because someone was saying, what now? Well, just, you know, let it play out. You know, if it goes perfect, if it comes back in, well, get stopped out at, you know, at least above entry, so that you pay fees, etc. But yeah, that was the trade plan. And unfortunately, it didn't play to expectations, but it was all right. Let me just look at this. And yeah, I'm still looking on, let me just keep that there. I'm looking here on NQ, and it's still not happy. I mean, those 750s look like one to be tapped, and then potentially fade all of this move from this morning all the way down to the midpoint of yesterday, which was front run. Okay, yes, Pablo, you are absolutely correct. Smash the like buttons, and we can do a what's it called? We can do an altcoin analysis. Oops, I think I went too far on this. They win with a great offside from Ron. No, it was not offside. Go on, get off it. It was. I mean, did you see the replay? But you got to give it to the man. I mean, he's what, 41 now? And he's got so many goals. It's unbelievable. Like, yeah, he's a legend. Don't have this silent reverse on BTC futures. Yeah, so for that, you need to just make sure that you go to so open a 24-hour chart. Okay, so 24 hours, not daily. Okay, go 24 hours. Okay, and then press down here on the right. You have this little thing called sessions, and just enable regular trading hours. And if you do 24 hours and enable regular trading hours, you will have this. Yeah, you can call it an island reversal. I like the abandoned baby. It sticks. Okay, but there you go. Cryptocurrencies, blah blah blah, Polkadot, Cosmos, Arbitrum. All right, I see you've done your research there. Marcelo's. Hugo, can you please get the link to that BTC trading view template, pretty please? Yeah, if we can get the likes up, I will definitely share this. I can share it. Yeah, I'll share this. And by the way, I like to use this chart with the bars like this, because then I'm just tracking what matters, which is the opens and the closes, okay? And you can see that we are getting rejected here. It looks like we're gonna see that 103, to be honest. So yeah, smash the likes, and I'll push this template out for you all. And then you can just press Alt on your keyboard, and then here is the weekly volume profiles. So you can see, you know, we are still on this balance. So 1, 2, 3 weeks thus far. So this is 3 weeks of just sideways, kind of like inside range. So at some point we expect a break of this, and it's just like doing its, we're getting to the apex now, basically. So it's a good time to not sleep and it's a good time to start being like, okay, are we going to look below, fail, go back inside? Great, look for the highs. Are we going to fail and accept below this range? Then all the boys and the girls waiting at 100k might get run over because price might just break through down to the second leg, which is around that 98, I'm afraid. So yeah, but yeah, smash the likes and I'll share this template. It's a good one. I like to track it like this because it gives me very much good context. You can see, look, there you go. So the next level, it's a single print all the way down at 100k. But I feel like if we trade there, this is going to look bearish, right? I mean, look at it. If we trade down there, this is going to look bearish. We're already trading below the trend line. So it's either make or break, meaning like reclaim that 107. Great. But spend too much time down here. This is not how do we say it? No bueno. It's no bueno. No bueno, right? I'm looking at NQ, still flirting with the VWAP. So no trade there for now. We can just be patient. I can stay here for a couple of hours, so no problems, and answer your questions. On Bybit pair, there is another low in the same range, but lower, which was done on Saturday. Wouldn't that be better place to take the long? Yes, it would be nice to go and clean those lows. Absolutely, that would be nice. But price doesn't have to, sometimes clean the lows. Sometimes it can be like, especially now the CME. On the CME now for BTC, we can have poor lows. We can have these poor lows. And the reason for that is it's nothing more or less than a double bottom, okay? Depending on the periods. Like, let's say if it's A and then, later on the day it's M, it can be just a double bottom, meaning there's actually a big person, a big institution or a big player, trader that wants to fill that position at 104. And that's just what it is. If there's not enough sells through that 104, he's just going to hold it and it's going to form a double bottom. Doesn't have to take the liquidity. They don't really care about it, to be honest. They just want to make their positions filled and move on to the next. But yeah, that would be nice to clean, at least give that umph and, certainty that, okay, at least we can go with that low. Have you fixed your camera? Yeah, I think so. It's not stopped yet. It's been on even a few minutes before the stream, and it was something to do with the heat. So I changed a couple of settings, and it's good now. I must tell Severin, because Severin yesterday on his stream, I know it stopped. Don't worry, you need you don't need kids to miss a trade. Oh man, that's funny. Silver is exploding. You should have a look at that. Okay. All templates work perfectly. Nice, Pablo. Don't worry. Okay, further question. About the template you released back in April for the TPU charge, can you make it available again? I can. To be fair, I can. I can share some, now that we're doing this more regular on YouTube, I can share. Then you guys can. You mean this one here? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah, it's just the standard TPO. Actually, I think I've got it here. This one. So I'm just going to go to a 30 minutes and I'm going to go to, I'm just going to hide this. Let me see if, yeah, there you go. So this one, is that what you mean? Let me know. Yeah, I do have it here for BTC. So this basically tracks the full session. Okay. So it's quite important. And I think over the years, I mean, some of you have seen my interest for the market profile. And it's really simply because it gives us traders like a very organized data collection and sample of the trading days. So it's a no-brainer to use it. And these levels, as you can see, are very well respected, especially when using on the correct context. So yeah, I mean, look, value here. And look, why were we taking along yesterday? I mean, pretty simply, and it doesn't have to play all the time, but more often than not, it will go our way because we have a sample of statistics, and you can see here. So yesterday's value, even on a full day, so on Monday, value was lower, and this is good for context because typically BTC likes to put highs and lows on a Monday. So that's step one. So then what you want to see is that, okay, where's value on Tuesday? Well, value was higher. So value on this day was all the way up here outside. So it's like, okay, well, if we come back in yesterday and hold that for the rise, then that's great, because then we expect this day to build value up here. But it didn't. It just failed and came back inside. And today we are still lower. So we've gone from trying to shift higher to now back inside. So this is like, and we can just look at this, in other words, the market profile, and arrive at this conclusion without having to guess. We're not guessing. We're literally looking at the data, and the data is telling us, yes, we attempted, but value means lower. Value is still lower. While this is lower, I mean, there's no need in going higher now. But as soon as we start breaking this, you can see that trend line which hugs these profile letters on a 30-minute chart. You can see that once you break it, you're going to have to look for that poor high up there. And that's the trade. That is the trade we're looking for. It's cooking, but it's not well. The ingredients are not all there yet. Okay, and I hope that makes sense. And this is why I love the market profile. But I think this is the one you were talking about. And if that's the case, absolutely, I can share that. Okay, I'm just waiting for the live for the futures trading. I will take a trade here, but I'm just waiting to see if we can snap out of this range. You can see on the futures we are range bound here. Okay, you know it's given a trade, but no follow through yet, and another revisit. So let's see if we can now break above these 90s, and then we can potentially look for a trade back up. Okay, so we kind of like shifting here. It is holding VWAP. ES is also not out of the woods yet. I'm looking on my other screen. So let's go down to, yeah, can you see even on the 15-minute, this doesn't look quite finished to the downside yet. So, I want to get a trade, but I want to get a good one, not just a trade. You mentioned dupe. Yes, okay, yeah. Altcoins did take a beating, didn't they? Only A+, that's it, perfect. I am short for 106.800. I wanted to add more, but didn't want to ruin my margin, so I added to short on dot. Nice. Silver go for all-time highs. I wouldn't be surprised. What indicator shows levels on charts? Which indicator? On what platform? Let me know. TradingView or... yes, I took the, you can see here on this, you can see here, so that was my entry, and the trade idea here was take a short on the move down. So as soon as we front ran the point of control and VWAP, so forget about all of this price action, we moved back up, I took my short and target was the lows, stop was literally just up here. So, limited, less than $150 risk for a 300, well, at the time I was looking for 400 and we got about 380-ish on this. So yeah, now I'm kind of like thinking we can, if we can break above the swing high, then we're changing this and we can take longs. For now, I still feel like we might revisit down. So just waiting a little bit. How can I get your template? For TradingView, yes. For TradingView, I can share it. I'll post it in the chat later. I'll post the link here in the chat. Okay, so let's try and hunt a trade here on NQ. I'm just going to make this a little bit wider. Yeah, we are stuck within this little range. So lower low into VWAP. This is the overnight midpoint as well. I'm going to mark yesterday's settlement. So let's plot yesterday's settlement here. Okay, so, and oh, well, look at that. I should have had this line earlier. I didn't have the line, and look, we actually, went through the VWAP down to the settlement. So we can actually hide that VWAP for now because we know we're flirting around it. So let's hide VWAP, and we can see it here on the left as well. And then just look at candle structure here. Let's see. Leave this one on as well. There you go. Let's and I'm also going to keep an eye on BTC just in case we start moving out of here. Yeah, I mean, NQ here, it does look like it wants to push, but I'm not convinced of these lows yet. I'm not convinced. So I'm going to see if I can pull a trade here, especially if we reject. Go up to, let's go 15 minutes. Because look, if we can't, I mean, look, let's look at this as the look above and fail. If we can't get above value area high of yesterday, which is sitting at 93, which is literally just above this high. So basically, if we look above the high, reject, come back below, we could be looking for the, you know, the move through the point of control. I'm going to look at this on my other screen. So there you go. So that's where we are right now. This is yesterday's trading. This is the settlement. We've bounced from the settlement. We're bouncing from the point of control. So we have this very heavy kind of like confluence area here. And if we break through this, we can be looking for these 35s. So that could be a nice trade down to 35s, but we need to break that point of control first. In other words, we need to see NQ at least touch the level, which is those 95s, perfect number, just above the high here. Reject, close 1 minute at least back below, and then we can potentially take this short trade down to value low, which is sitting at 35s, okay, which happens to be the full session open. So yeah, let's plan for that. We're already getting the little move back down. We did take the highs there just ever so slightly. So let's mark that. Let's go down to 1 minute. There you go. So there's the, I'm going to mark value area low as well so that we know potential target here. So for that, I'm going to just use a line, and then we know this could be a potential nice target. So let's go with value area low, previous day. Okay. And I'm going to mark value area high as well, around these 93, call it 95s. Okay, so let's mark that. Value area high, and we know we're at the point of control now, so we don't have to mark that. We know exactly where it is. So now all eyes on this. It'd be nice to see if we can at least take the 95s. So let's look here. I'm going to try and hide. If you can't see anything on a chart, let me know, and I can make maybe a few things a little bit bigger. And let's keep an eye on this liquidity here. Okay, you can see those 50s down there, 60s as well. So it looks like there is still a bit more room to the downside. That's where majority of the orders are resting. So let's pay attention, and I'll keep an eye on the chat. Yeah, there's only 140 likes, and there's 400 people watching. So give us a like. Okay, we're just approaching that value area high there, which sits around the highs. If we take a little short scalp here, but we want to see first the rejection. Okay, we want to see that either look above, hit, reject, come back below, and then we can entertain a short trade to the other side of the range. Because if it accepts above, then we're potentially working with something entirely different here. So I'm going to delete the line now. Okay, there you go. So value area high hit, 2D tick. Let's see the reaction now. Okay, we want to see a potential move back below, close below, and then we can potentially enter the next candle. If we accept above here, then it's a different story. We can then not look for the shorts and just go with this momentum to the upside. Okay, still some orders there resting. No close. 13 seconds left. See if they hit the 800s, big psychological level. Big order, still buyers. Little pullback. New candle open right at the highs there, so no confirmation here whatsoever. And we're looking for previous day high already, the next level at 803. So you can see sometimes how nice it is to just not jump into a predefined short here. Like a lot of traders would probably just set a stop, an entry here, but then you endure this as drawdown. Not a lot, but sometimes it's best to just wait a little bit and see, okay, do we accept above, which we are doing now, or do we reject now completely and then come back below, close, and then we can go with the retest of the next candle and then just let it drop into target. Okay, if we then spend too much time above here, close above it, then it's kind of like, okay, we've looked inside in the point of control, because this is the big reference, the point of control of yesterday, and we have a P shape. The point of control yesterday is actually a P shape, so this is a nice profile, and it should be the POC should hold. Okay, so yeah, we're still building value above here. And while we're waiting for this, I'll answer Wando's question. So the question is, could you please tell me the advantage of Quant Tower over EXO, Bookmap, etc.? Well, when, especially for, I mean, Quant Tower has Bookmap, or a very similar version of Bookmap, as you can see here. So it's very similar to Bookmap. And what I did here is I actually bought the lifetime license, meaning that I don't have to pay a monthly fee anymore. And the lifetime license was about 1,300, 1,250 or 70, I don't know, something like that on the Black Friday sale. So that's it for the software. I don't have to pay a license anymore. And for example, other platforms, you have to pay like a monthly, like 70, 100, 150, whatever fee to keep using, as well as paying for the CME data. So the only thing I have to pay now for is the CME level 2 data, and that's it. It's mine. So, and it, I mean, to be quite honest, it's the same thing. I mean, when you look at Bookmap, it's pretty much this. I mean, look at ES, you've got the levels in between. Yeah, I mean, we are holding here. This is not getting rejection. Like for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, we are getting that continuation. So we looked at the point of control holding. So let's just give it a little bit more time. Otherwise, we're going to have to go with the long trades. But yeah, that's why I like it. And then the TPO version of this, I mean, this is just next to none. I mean, I've tested so many softwares, but this one's got an incredible TPO module. So this is proper TPO module, and I like it a lot. And then obviously Trading View, it's Trading View. You can't beat it. Trading View is like number one-stop shop. Basically, you can do everything we can do, but obviously with Quant Tower, you have that granularity. Like it's, you know, tick by tick rather than different things. Let me make sure I'm not missing something. I can see. Oh, there you go. So the trade, we have looked near at previous day high. Okay, just gonna close this. Look at that value area low retest, value area higher, so, retest there. Just waiting here still. The rejection here is just the big run level, I mean number, so that will be 800. But in terms of like levels, there is none where we rejected apart from a big psychological round number. So we still haven't got a proper confirmation yet. even though we've had 1 or 2 candles, I mean, if NQ had hit the 3, probably would be a different story, but we haven't yet. Ta-da-dum, 15 minutes. Yeah, it still looks good for a little bit more upside here. Pixafin, absolutely. If you're a champion member, I shared this chart yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think yesterday. So you should all have this now. This is what I primarily use. Okay, there you go. So that pullback to the previous day value area high is still holding price here. So I need a little bit more. And look, if we take a long trade here, that's not a good risk to reward because we're looking right up to that high there. I mean, it's a tiny scalp with, but it's not the best. You can see the candles in between. Let's take a look at ES. I'm actually going to change this down to a 1 minute. Also here. Justin, howdy. Yes, it is running super cool now. I had some issues with my PC the other day, but yeah, now it's clocking 57 degrees now. So, and I'm running a lot. Yeah, I'm running a lot. Okay, there we go. So we're looking back below here. I'm really eager to take. I mean, what would be the risk here? This is the thing, we could drop all the way down to those 80s. So that's quite a little bit of a drop. I mean, you know, ideally the short from here down to those lows would be better. That would be a nice trade. But we're still holding above this previous day value area high. It's just obviously buying up here is a little bit expensive. You'd have to use your stop. Look, you can see we can come all the way back down to those 80s. Oh, come on, give us a little trade here. NQ. Let's see if we can get 90s. But we can stay a little bit longer. There's no, but I want to kind of like focus a little bit so that we can catch this next trade. And what I see here right now is we've reached the value area high. Okay, this is resistance, but we're building value, or we're consolidating above that resistance. So we can still push to that previous day high, which sits above at 803. So I'm just looking here to see, do we look properly, clean it, come back below close, then we can take the short. But yeah, right now taking the long here, it's like if I go long now, yes, there's a high odds that we're going to reach that previous day high, but look, it's $140 reward for about at least down to the 80s, 160 risk, you know, below all of these orders. So it's not the best trade. So I'm going to have to stay put a little bit and just wait. And in the meantime, we can look at ES. Still hasn't cleaned those 6,000. Yeah, that 9, yes, that's it. It's very happy, the CPU. Question, if you were to start using Quantower right now, how would you learn more about it? Would you pay monthly? No, I would just pay the lifetime license. And the reason for that is their support team, they are very good. Every time I go back to them with a request, they typically put on a queue and it gets done. So they are listening. Obviously, we have, quite a big community at Chart Champions. So they obviously, it's their interest to listen and make a few changes. But I'm not asking for many changes. I'm asking for things that we as traders use and really need. And it's not really a lot it's not like indicators and things like this. It's more like features that make the platform better, like the TPO module. When we asked for the open and the closes of the sessions, that was implemented very quickly. And the halfback, I'm talking about these letters here. So before we couldn't see the EQ, the close, the settlement, like these letters. And now I treat this as if it was just a 30-minute profile. Like, for example, I open here. We looked all the way to H open, and then we closed all the way up here. So this is a 30-minute profile, and you can see exactly what happened there. And they implemented that very quickly. So I think it's, for a trading platform that gives you, just the book map feature, just this feature here is worth the money, in my opinion. And then the ability to just, mark it in and trade straight from the chart, like select these orders. I think it's honestly really good, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people will disagree with that. And I've noticed that if you don't have much stuff, many charts, many things open within Quantauri, it actually runs pretty smooth. Obviously, now it's a little bit slow, the market, because it's, I think maybe that's not probably the best time. I think if I do a stream, I'm going to do it from 12 to 2. The next one, so that we get a bit more volatility. Because if I just pop this up now, actually, let me see. Let's go with the volume here. Let me just open this up. Yeah, when you look at the volume for RTH, is even this morning was better during London. So now it's really died down, but it's still trying to push. To be fair, we are still. I can see it. I can see this move back, into that open. That is the level. We're consolidating below that resistance, above the value area high. I think it wants to push there, but the risk is too great for the little reward. Good to hear. Yeah, good. Do you use market order when you're satisfied? Yes. So Kevin, that's a very good question. Typically, you've got two options in the markets, right, to take the trade. For example, now, let's say I'm interested in buying the 90s here. I can obviously buy with the limit order, just pop the limit in there. But there's no guarantees that price is just going to go through and then hit my stop, lose $300 and then come back above. So what I like to do typically, especially when going with momentum trades, is, and if I'm available at my computer, I will wait for price to go and fill all of that, and then I'll wait for like a little tiny signal, for example, like a massive order at that support or resistance that tells me, okay, potentially like a big spike in volume down here in Delta, and obviously backed by volume there too. Potentially then I can go market order, and that is the low. So I will then just risk, let's say, 150 rather than 300, double that. But I often risk getting stopped out just as I enter, because my stop might be a little bit too tight. But if it's a good setup at a good key level, I will just let it run. And then instead of having a predefined take profit, let's say I'm going to take it here up to the 30s, I wouldn't have my take profit there. I'll just let it run, and I'll just keep moving my stop to each higher low above. High Vision CA, I can see your question. I feel Quantower is much better than Atis, but Atis is really good too. And I like both, and I still use both, to be fair. In fact, I've got both open right now because I'm creating a template for Daniel, and that's on Atis. So yeah, I love both softwares still, but I feel like Quantower is a little bit more professional. Right, guys, as soon as I see the trade, I will take it, and I will make sure there's only 15-second delay. I will try and share it. I want to see something, and you can see for the past few minutes nothing. Have you thought about opening a subsidiary of CC that has your streaming daily? No, I've not thought about that. But we can just make these a little bit more regular. How did you learn the list tool that you're currently showing? If someone is new, what's the best way to learn what you're showing? Great content. Thank you. We have done a few modules on this, and I'm planning on doing another one just to go. And I think this one will be one that I'm just going to cover really what to look at and what not to use. And you're pretty much looking at it here. Like, it is going to be just a market profile. It's going to be, you know, the DOM surface or bookmap, whatever you want to call it, and just a clean chart with our levels, which is, you know, previous day high, you know, the settlement, because that's where the respect comes in, as well as previous day value area high and stuff for value. But apart from that, I think this is in a nutshell what's required here. Right, this wants to push, but I feel like it needs a little bit of a hump, right? And we don't have it. What, 92? That's 175. I don't really have anything apart from daily high there. I want to see, right? This is what I want to see. I want to see this move above previous day high, or at least touch it, clean the high that was front run just now, and then close back below. And I will potentially entertain that short trade. Okay, back down to the mean. Because technically we rejected, we're having this nice pullback. That would be nice. Yeah, while we're waiting for that, let's do a couple of altcoins while we're waiting for this, or a couple of other assets. And I'm waiting for this setup. Okay, so let's just be patient. I mean, I saw all of this volatility up and down. I thought, right, it's going to be great, you know, do the stream, and look, we haven't done much. Sometimes it can be annoying. Anyway, let's wait a little bit. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to look at something and then we're going to miss the move, but hopefully we don't. Right, let me know in the chat. Yeah, let's type in the chat if there's any altcoin or any asset you want me to look at very quickly, and we can take a quick look while I keep an eye on this next setup. All right, we're waiting here for the setup. Altcoin. What is the obsession with Altcoin? I actually pulled that up the other day. Still have it here, I think. I think this is I think this is it. I mean, I think this is going lower. We've broken all of this. I mean, let me help you a little bit here. There you go. So this is inverted chart. You have 1, 2, 3. You've now broken above this. You've retested it. Okay, fair enough. You've already taken the high. So that's step 1. Step 2 is up here. Yeah. There's room to 60 cents. Okay, now let's invert the chart. And there you go. So, you know, there's still room to here. And let me just do something here. Oh, look at that. Right there. There you go. 67.90. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this traded there. I mean, look, it's kind of like amazing how, you know, I still see more downside. Okay. I still see minimum 85s. And then potentially in the near future, 67s, which will be 60s. And there you go. And that's around the golden pocket, the CC. Let me just, out of curiosity, see where our... Look at that. Yeah, 67. There's your box. I would not touch this thing until it comes down to this. And then potentially you have leg 1, leg 2, which get taken again, and then you could look at that nice impulsive leg 3 back up to the high, if this is to stick. And if it is, then your target is exactly, oh, look at that, above the high, $3.10. But you need to first, I would say, watch this drop into there, watch that whatever 6 on 8 maybe potentially be hit, and then come down to 56. I would say this is the early longers, and then this is the nice long. I'm going to set an alert at 56. And what I'm going to do here, actually, I'm going to actually open a chart on, what's it called? Fart. Oh yeah, we're getting the move now, back up. So let me see if I can get this. Okay, if we can close back below, looking at the, we did get that move. And then I'll look at Altcoin on a higher time frame here. Everybody looks Altcoins. Okay, still nothing. Wow. Altcoin, BTC, ETH, Locky, BTC, AMD. Can we look at Turbo, Link, Porn Rocket? What? Hey guys and girls, smash the like button on here to go for Igor's template. Would be great. ETF, Altcoin. Yes, send it. I'm thinking, yeah, we're still, okay, right. So we are trying here. I want to see the close back below it, and then I can trigger. And then we can just use this to stop right here. And then I'll take a look at that Altcoin. Because if not, then we're going back up to range highs. So let's just give ourselves another couple of seconds here, and I'll just pull the trigger if I see it. Yeah, okay. So we do have some, and you can see how market waited to first come and take that. So let's see if now they can close below this next 2 seconds. And how long do we have? Okay, we've just opened. Could have the little short trigger here. Let's see if we can get a little pullback. We haven't really had those aggressive sellers yet. They're coming in now, but not a lot of them. So let's see, no pullback yet, just literally the rejection and the close below, but no pullback. You can see the little gap here in price. Well, not gap, but you know, the okay, here comes a little pullback. My attempt to short, let me just put a little bit more liquidity here. I can't really see. Apart from the highs there, you can see that there's no much left. So, I mean, the risk here would be $200. But I don't see those sellers yet. There was a couple that popped out. So let's see if they can at least push to, well, 95s, it's here. Let's see if they can at least look above. Nope. They won't. We might have to sell below. Yeah, so there's always going to be a lag on the stream. You know, nothing I can do about that. I do have a pretty swift connection, but it could be maybe right, so we're resting on this. I feel like just shorting now, but then we've got a little bit of a wider risk. But there was no pullback. But I like that we hit that previous day high and we can reject a little bit lower now. But yeah, I had no pullback and I don't like shorting right here at value. I feel like I can look back above. And if it rejects, I might go with this and just use this local high at 96 as my stop. So in other words, if we just break now, I might just short and then put my stop here. So instead, I'll just lose, you know, $95. Yeah, because we're closing with those low gap. You can see, I think I'm going to do it. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to go with it, and I'm just going to put my stop right here to see if we can get that nice push through back down. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for now. Hopefully we'll get some nice follow through here. But yeah, typically I prefer to see the pull back in, at least retest those 97s, which is where I've got my stop. So I might give myself a little bit of room here. But yeah, if the sellers turn up, because there are a few here, but they're not really fighting much, are they? Then we can see that move swiftly back down. And we'll just let this play. And while this is playing, I'm going to take a look at that market profile in Altcoin, but I'm going to go up to a weekly on this. And we'll let that play. And I'm going to do 1 hour, I guess. Let's just delete volume. 1 week. Let's go hour. 1 hour. Yeah, so it's still kind of, it wants to go, but it needs to get those sellers to step in now and just push this down. Just looking at Altcoin here. Let me just change a couple of settings and then I can show you guys what it looks like. None. Boxes. Okay, so here's Altcoin. Let me just see. You can see value lower, lower, lower. Yeah, that 50 cent, that does look good all the way down there. Let me just take the aggregation off. It would be all the way down to 58 at least. Yeah, that's another 40%. That's another 40% drop on this. So yeah, I wouldn't touch it basically. You can see you've got a massive trend line here that has been broken. Value, you looked above and now you're building value lower, lower. So yeah, I mean the next level of significant is all the way down there. It starts at 65 all the way down to, yeah, the value low at 57. So that's what I would look for. NQ is not really getting that drop here. It's lingering too much. What's ES doing? Again, not confirmed. It's not the best, right? Especially when you have this, you know, you short, it's kind of like it looks below. It's not quite finished. Let's take a look at a 5-minute. Yeah, the 5-minute looks okay, but we can still have a little pullback back inside the range. Let's take a look at 15-minute. 15-minute looks better. Maybe our stop is a little bit too tight. And if we do reject here, we can see then that drop down to those, like I said earlier, 50s would be nice. So let's see. It's holding the previous 15-minute candle high for now. And then let's take a look at the 30-minute. Again, the 30-minute looks okay for this. But again, it's a little bit slow. So let's go back to 1 minute and wait. Will it make a lower high before going down to 67? Potentially. I just feel like right now where it is, let me just turn this back on. Yeah, I just feel like where it is now, you'd have to look for 90. Oh, yeah, it's too close to price. I think the aggregation is too high. Let's go 50. There you go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, you have. Look, it's already done it. Look, this is perfect. And you can see why I love it. So you put the like anchor it down here, and that's the lie, so the low. So you can just go high, open, high, low, close level, and you can see that that's where we've rejected at 4 a.m. This is 1 hour chart. So really, it's already rejecting that level there. We're below it. We broke the single prints here, you can see. So this was a poor low, got repaired, but then like BTC yesterday, unable to claim the point of control. So that is the point of control, and look, that's what it spent the majority of the time, and then rejection. So yeah, it's trending lower. So I would say these levels now are more probable to just keep on making lower lows and lower highs until it finds its next value. And you can see values all the way down at 57. Obviously, I don't want to be too bearish, but yeah, we've broken the lows. Value is now lower compared to previous value. It has a lot of work to do. The only good thing here is that today's value so far is still above price. So today's value, okay, well, not today's, this week's value, so far it's still above. So we have a P shape. So if price, like, for some reason finds good buyers and we snap back inside, that could be the continuation. We're getting a bit of volatility here, so I'm going to move my stop down on my trade because we're getting a lot of orders coming through, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm just going to push this down because I don't want to get stopped out on this trade. There you go. We got this wizardry here, so I'm going to collapse my trade if we come back above those 86. But yeah, we only making a little bit. I would have preferred to see this really just drop, so I'm going to go on a higher time frame. So that's a little bit better. And because we're at VWAP, I'm going to move this down a little bit. Let's just see if we can get a little move lower still. Settlement incoming. Let's go down to 1 minute. Remember the 50s from earlier? That was kind of like the better target. So we're just coming down to that now. I'm just going to move boxing the trade down to 70. I'm going to go 76. And we're literally at the lows here now. So let's just go now to 68. So we're basically just following price. As price is dropping, we're just going with it. And we're kind of like really close to 750 now. So we've got about 290 to get to 750. So we might as well just, collapse the trade back down to this range high here. And that's sitting in at 67. 67 is always a good level. So 67, 30s, and then obviously round psychological numbers. So we can just take a little bit of this out, see where it is. So we're sitting right on that pocket of liquidity. So I'm just going to give myself 2 more ticks here down to that range low. I don't like it, 67. It's there it is. There's the seller coming in. So let's see if they can push the rest of this down. There you go. So that's better. And let's go with that seller there at 66. And there you go. So we've hit that biggest pocket. And now the trade is like perfect. It's like we've done what we wanted to do. We look for that range. We look for the trade. We waited for confirmation. Granted, we didn't get the best feel because we didn't get the little pullback, but we went with the break of structure, everything you can think of. So it's a good trade, and we're sitting at the previous day close. So this is like those levels, and we're basically right up to those 50s. Okay, 750s. So there you go. That order is sell filled. I mean, there you go. We're out. Perfect. That was a nice trade for how much did we make on that? $500 and nearly $600. And there you go. That's the only 2 trades I took today. 2 short trades. Why? Well, the market looked above, fell, came back inside. We were looking for the short trade here at the value area high, but more precisely, the level being the previous day high. That's why I like these levels. They're very well respected. We knew the liquidity was around the 750. I still feel like we're going to get it. This is aggressive sellers now coming in, stepping in with price. You can see him there at 65. So he's basically saying, okay, I want to be involved in this and let's take it to 750. So from 65 down to 50. So let's see if they go get it. And when you hear people talking about liquidity above the highs and above the lows, well, they're talking nonsense. If they're not looking at Bookmap, they don't know where the liquidity is. But we know because liquidity is right there. We can see it. Can you see? So this is live book feed now. So this is real liquidity. So if anyone is saying, oh yeah, watch this pattern, it's going to take the highs, take the lows because this is where the liquidity is, the algorithm, the whatnot, well, they're all talking nonsense, because this right here is the liquidity. Currently on NQ, the liquidity is at 750 and it's 20 now, 20 contracts. Okay, that's liquidity. Anything else in between this, there's nothing. So the next level, 53, you can see there's 7 lots there. And that's where price is trying to magnetize to. But like I said, I like to box in my trades, not have a target. So have a soft target, meaning I kind of want to see a trade to there. But as soon as the risk to reward, as we're approaching that level, becomes more that I should be closing my trade, then, you know, you have to box in as much as you can. And that's what we did here, and we booked our profits. And, you know, the market is not even open for another 3 hours, and we're already up nearly 1K. So that's nice pre-market, right? Kind of buys us a couple of trades at the open for later when it starts. So yeah, very nice. The ICT community no, let them do. Let the ICT do what they need to do. Yeah, but they might need spoof. They might be spoof. Yes, they might be spoof. That's true. Like this seller, there's a big seller up there. As soon as but look, remember, this seller was not here. This seller only showed up after the event. So, you know, it's like something happened and now he's put his sell order there. And that's 52 lots. That is spoofing. Like, he's obviously put this there after the event to scare people potentially, or he wants to get filled later because price will probably most likely still trade through that later. This doesn't mean it's bearish. We're just having a normal retracement. I mean, if we go down to let's go to a 30 minutes or 1 hour even. Let's go to a 1 hour, to a 30 minute. Look, this is a 30 minute. Actually, let me just plot the 30, the 50. Oh, look at that. This is actually perfect. So this line right now, it's the 50 simple moving average on the 30 minute. And that is exactly where we bounce from. Why? Because these levels are really well respected by institutional traders. They look at the 50 simple moving average on the 30-minute chart. And if you don't trust me, you don't have to. Just go back and look at every single time we hit that level. For example, let's go to this candle here, Tuesday at 3 a.m. Boom, bounce. Actually, what is the time now? New York is, 5:30. So we get in the same, 3 a.m., boom. So yeah, there you go. So that's where we kind of like bouncing from. So this is not bearish. It just means that, you know, that seller that it's now sitting up there with 52 lots, was it? So 52, he still probably wants to get filled again up there. It's just averaging in. So yeah, it's kind of perfect. I like it. This is how we learn. But yeah, each trader has their own view of trading, and we do too. But yeah, we're below VWAP now. We have not hit those 50s yet. It doesn't have to be hit. That's why we closed our trade slightly before we got there. But there's a high chance that we go and find those limit orders. And I promised the trade, and we got a trade. So let me just move this down. But yeah, so for Altcoin, just to wrap this up and fight Altcoin, it's, you know, I would like to see a move back down through that Fibonacci golden pocket, a little retest of this range low here, and then another move back down to those 6s. I've got an alert here. I want to see how this goes. And look, when you invert the chart, wouldn't that look nice? You know, like just a little retest and then boom, back down. Actually, when you invert this, it actually looks a little bit even worse. Anyway, let's put this back on its side and get rid of that. And yeah, BTC still coming down. Going to put a line chart there. Let's go back to here. Let's see those 50s being tapped. All right, I'm going to take a look at the comments very quickly. Hopefully we can see if we get another trade here. I'm going to go down to, and yeah, you can see all my trades today, just 2. In fact, there's, yeah, there you go. So short, then another short. We can just be patient sometimes. And here the context was very good. Look at that sort of like reversal candle here. That's where we're getting in. That's pretty cool. Let's go down to a 1 minute. All right, let me look at the comments very quickly. I'll look on this platform here. Great trade. Yeah, smash the likes. Give me a W in the chat if you managed to get into that trade with us. Obviously, I know we went slightly below, but that was the plan. I said I want to see it go above, hit the previous day high, and close below. That would be the entry trigger on the pullback. But you can see, and I'm going to show you why I like the bars. Okay, I'm going to put this on bars. Let me just go down there. And I'm going to show you why I love the bars. So now you have the bars. You can see that on that candle below, this one here, as soon as we close, so open. Can I make this wider? Let me see if I can make it wider. There you go. I think you can probably see better. So we open. Well, actually, let's start from here. So we front run that level. So a lot of traders will be shorting this and putting their stops right there because they can't see that level. They're not looking at that. In fact, if you look at the market profile at the time, it was right here. So there you go. So 803, well, 275. So when you go down here, 803. Okay, so the same level. So you can just see on the market profile when you zoomed in, let's say you zoomed in here on the 1 minute, like here, you can't see the highs. But if you have this on a different screen, you can see it's right there. Can't miss it. So let me just zoom in to make them bigger. There you go. So we open right at that level, look above, but look at where we close. So there's the close. And then on the next candle, we'll open right at the low 7. If you're watching, you're going to love it because it's really beautiful. But we didn't get the retest here. So we open right at the lows of this candle. Okay. And typically we want to see just a little move back inside, a little move. And in this case, we didn't get the move. We can take a look at the cluster to see what happened here. You can see all of those buys coming in right at the highs and then the volume picking up as it comes back down. Yeah, but this is why I like the candles. I mean, the bars, because it shows you where price is trying to go. And down here, that's what we did. We waited. Okay, we got the close and then we just shorted on a break because, you know, sometimes price doesn't give you that respect. And then especially when you see then the orders still waiting down at the lows at the round of 750s, look, you know, we're bouncing from 54s. So that's, you know, that's pretty much the whole trade. We got 70% of the trade, and then the rest, like the crumbs, the high and the low, it's not for us. We don't want to pinpoint the lows or the highs. We want the meat, and that's what I like to teach. But yeah, back to the candle. And yeah, I still see, so this is how I'm seeing price now. We have taken these local highs now. Once we start getting below this trend line, we might see a pushback down through those 50s. Let me just put a little bit more. There's not really much though, look. So you have 50s and then that's really it. Yeah, there's really not much below in terms of liquidity, meaning that price might want to gravitate towards where's more. And there you go, 850, 800, every 50, 21,900. 21,900 will be the high of Friday, I feel. So yeah, let's keep an eye here. Let's see if they want to still come back up and push into that view up. Oops. Just mark this. All right. Viva Igor, apenas para me meter contigo. Estás a ver o bom dia de Portugal na esquerda? Não. That is my trading terminal. That is Bloomberg. What's it called? Bloomberg and what's it called? Financial juice. I'm always looking up the data coming in, but it's nice to see Carlito. Nice one. Can you tell me I'm choosing the correct TPO tick value for any chart? Yes. ES you can use tick 1 for ES. NQ you can use up to tick 5, 10. It depends on the volatility, really. It really depends on the volatility. But I mean, let me just go up here and show you. So this here is NQ, And for this day, because I'm looking at a more compressed time, this is tick 10. So tick 10 here, just looking at RTH. This is really what matters. So tick 10, and then for ES here, I'm using also tick 10, but typically later, what I'll do, I'll go down, well, actually that's tick 5. I'll go down to actually tick 1. So I'll move this down to tick 1 and I'll be trading like this. And you can see how crisp and clear this is. So this is tick 1 on ES, and it's, yeah, it's what I recommend for ES, because you don't need any higher than that. Any higher than that and you lose all the sensitivity on this. Okay, so this is a weak high, so there's a likelihood that we're going to tap through. It's also 6,000, so you know, traders will be selling here, selling here, selling here. Once the selling dries out, potentially another run up, but we're maintaining higher highs and higher lows. Look, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So we're still kind of like okay here, and we're just at the settlement still. So this is the settlement price right there. That M session close is the settlement. So this is, while price is above this, it's still bullish. Okay, but yeah, so tick 1 on ES and tick 10 down to 4 on NQ. Okay, tell you what, let me just zoom back because I missed quite a bit of the chat here. So let me just go back. Yeah, no, let me just delete this. I don't know why the team keeps sending message. Guys, you're very busy. Let me just delete this. I know it's annoying. It's not all the time. I don't have, yeah, there you go. I've got everything on mute, but I think it's the team that are having a discussion. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's off. There you go. Sorry about that. I'm a popular person. Okay, sorry. I have missed quite a few of the chat here. How can a gap be created if the market is currently open? All right, good question. Go over to, not Altcoin, but go over to the ETFs. Go over to the ETFs and you'll see that, you know, the pre-market is now starting to open, but the market, you know, just like any stock, will open at 8:30, right? 8:30, 8:30, that's where it opens. So you will have the gaps in between price, okay? So it's just about location and time. Yeah, sorry about that. I've disabled the Discord. Okay. Can you help me choose the correct? Okay, we've done that. Okay, sorry, I've caught up. TR trades. Yes, it happens. I don't seem to understand how it's possible. Does it mean that the miss second between the one candle close and the candle open? Yeah, that's where all the orders go through. So, you know, like you can see here, so these are the real orders coming through. So you're going to have like, I know ICT traders will say, oh, this is a fair value gap. You can see it, but you know, it's simply, okay, a low volume zone. Like there was more sellers than buyers, and those buyers got obliterated if there was any. I mean, we can go back and see how many buyers were there by selecting, but you know, you can see it's not a lot, and price just slashes through. So and then obviously they say, oh, it needs to come back and, you know, rebalance or whatever, but that's simply what it is. And typically during news, and the best thing to do is to use that live trading price, like real live. It's between news events, all of this order book will go absolutely dark. This will go dark, meaning there's no orders there. So price has, you know, even 5 lots will push price like a yo-yo left, right and center. And they say, oh, it's a fair value gap. Well, not really. It's just there's no volume. There's no buyers or sellers on the books, on the DOM level 2. That's really what it is. So if you're using a software like this, you can actually see exactly what's happening on that location. And there's a really good way of looking at this. And I'll put it up so you can see. And I'll share it. Level 2. Let me just wait for it to open up. And I'm going to select ES on an CQG. There you go. Let me just pop this here and share this screen. Oops. Let me just open it up. Yeah, so here we go. So this is ES. This is the level 2 book for ES. Let me just push this up. So you can see that here on the buy and the sell, so this is the bid and the ask, you can see that there's only 0 prints there. So if you go, you know, as we got that drop into VWAP earlier, into the lows, let me just show you here as well. So there is an inefficiency at 84.50. So 84.50, there is a, call it a print, a 0 print there. So it is likely that price will go and try and fill that print there. So if I was to put an order there, you can see that 37 will change to 38. Currently my order is at Q39, so just cancel that. But you know, price tends to go to these low pockets of volatility, and there you go, you got a new 30-minute period. We know that print is there at 84, and typically price likes to go and just fill those boxes in. Okay, and you can see here on level 2, you know, that's what it's trying to do, like open the next 30-minute candle, pushes up to that 75, gets that filled, and then goes on with business. And we can see it right here live on the order book. But if you're looking just at candles here, you can't see that. You can't see it, and that's what typically price likes to do. So we know that print is there on a yes, you know, we know there's a likelihood that it's going to reach there, and then when it gets there, if it gets there, then we can assess, okay, do we feel it, that print, and we accept above it? Okay, we can attain longs because we're bouncing from VWAP on a nice technical level, and there you go, that print is now being tested now. Just need another couple of ticks. So yeah, that's how I like to look at this. So yeah, this is a good way to look at those little prints in between price action. All right, this screen is probably easier to keep an eye on this. Igor, share with us the train of thought regarding P, B, and D shape profiles. What do they tell us? That will probably take a long time. Are you a member? Because I share these regular in CC, in Chart Champions. So I basically go through, for example, I will be looking at, let's say, BTC from yesterday, so the RTH session, and then I'll be doing this. I'll go plot a anchor text here, and I'll go, right, so this is the daily recap and preparation, and then when I get to the profile shape here, I'll say, okay, we have a P shape today, or we had a P shape or B shape. Well, let's put B, P. I'll do this every day for BTC, and then often what I like to do is then just go below here. I'll do, okay, let's pop the P shape here, you know, what it means, you know, what it is. And then you have like a visual representation of, you know, what to expect with the P shape, or what it means having the P shape. And then you get your plan for the day, and I hope that's useful. But yeah, I've got one for everyone, but if you remember, you can see this, or you can ask me. It's all posted on my channel every day, really. Yes, I am using tick data, so I actually pay for both. I pay for CKG and Rhythmic, so I've got both datas, full book. Yeah, I've already shared my thoughts on BTC. Go back to the beginning of the stream. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. I want to see a meaningful action before I take my trade. And how beautiful was that we came up to those prints and we are rejecting again. It's really cool. Literally just looked above it, into it, and you can see that here on the candles. This is important, by the way. So here on the candles, okay, when you have level 2, you can see that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 highs the same, but look here on the best bid, best ask, it went there, so it was offered there. The offers were there. Sunshine Girl, we've just traded a nice short on NQ, and we've been looking at I don't want to say it, but we looked at Altcoin. What a trade. Just subscribe. Learning so much from you. Oh, nice. Welcome. CC is the best. Beautiful. Okay, such great analysis. Love the stream. Oh, thank you. Good. Igor, please, can you tell me what chart is on the left? This one here, right now, is a DOM surface. So this is part of a module called DOM surface on Quantower, and it's very, very similar to Bookmap. So if you're familiar with Bookmap, you're basically looking at something very, very similar. And I'm using it for the few. There you go. Oh no, we haven't. I thought that was the 750, but it's not quite there. Now we can extend this. There is a likelihood that we're going to reject and go there now. So not financial advice. Yes. Okay, I think I'm quite behind. Smash the likes. That's right. Okay, we got a few W's. That's nice. 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 Tuga. Yes, I am Tuga. Sou português. If there are Portuguese people in the chat, so yeah, we won Germany yesterday on the football, but they were asleep. That was like not. That was a weird Germany side yesterday. I think they were either tired or not really thinking about being on the fight. I don't know. It was but Portugal played good. So yeah, nice one. How do you use the settlement price? Right, pop in new. Very simply, if price is above the settlement, bullish. If price is below the settlement, bearish. That's it. So if we go back to NQ right now and we plot, I think I've got it already. Is it here? Oh no, that's yes. Yeah, I've got it here. So basically, this is where sometimes you see price gravitating to the settlement and staying there. And it's all those algorithms. They turn on and they turn off. They go green and then they go red. They go green and they go red because they just kind of like dictating the market at that point. So price likes to spend time here. And if you don't want to believe me, pull up a market profile and then just check the point of control. And more often than not, that point of control, and look, I'm just going to give you 2 days now. 2 days and you're going to be like, oh, didn't think of that. So here's the settlement for yesterday. Point of control, what, 10 ticks above it? Here's the settlement for the day before. Right there. It was the point of control. So, you know, and just go back and see it. So this one, settlement, look, the settlement is literally at 35 and the point of control is at 15. So $20 apart. Typically, the settlement brings volume, okay? So prices gravitate towards that volume. Okie dokie. Bro, I've been muting all my charts for the past 10 minutes. Muting? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Okay, do you have... Okay. What's the software called? Quantower. On the graph on the left, similar where you change the colors, highlight where... Yes. So that's what I like to do. So you can just predefine the levels, but I like to just throughout the... Because look, let's face it. During the day, you're going to have times where there's more volume and you're going to have times where there's less volume. So if you keep this at 0, it's going to show you the whole book. But then let's say we're trading now. That's why I keep going higher and lower, because I want to make sure that I see, okay, where are the big orders? And price tends to typically gravitate towards those orders. I'm not saying it goes there all the time. I'm just saying that it tends to typically it gravitates toward those orders. Yeah, that's it. So I like to slide this up and down to see, okay, you know, how big is the order, you know, and where's the big boys, like, you know, where they're taking price to. And we kind of predefined earlier that we wanted to see them bringing this down to 750. And look, here's a perfect example of a lot of people that take great trades and then they just give it all back. We folded right down here because our target was 750. So we boxed in. So we were like moving our stop as price was moving lower, meaning like for those people that trade props, this is great because you can actually, what's it called? The trailing drawdown. You know, you just follow price. You know, where price goes, you go with it. And then if you get stopped out, that's it. And then we said, as soon as it breaks this trend line, the odds for 750 increase. And I feel like that's where it's going. But look, little order just popped up here since this high. And now they're going to try and push price a little bit more, potentially down to, or up to 65, because it's the low here. So you got the low here at 65. Oops, didn't do that. Okay, let's put it here. So there's the low at 65. And look at that. That's where the liquidity is coming in. Can you see? I hope you can see that. And then if you want to see how many lots, it's 6. So not a lot. There's more at 67. Again, look, 67s, 65s. So that's those round psychological levels. And sometimes what happens, and this is what I like to do. Sometimes what happens, and price will have target down here. and you can see those buys coming in. Price will then, before it goes to there, will go and come back up to fill orders. So a lot of people will be down here. This is people that are starting to learn Bookmap and stuff. They'll be like, oh, there's a big order there, I'm going to short now to that, and then price instantly reverses, and they're like, what? But typically goes down there. Yeah, but often price likes to just work both sides of the market. They will take the highs, then take the lows, or take the lows, then take the highs. I don't have any settings for yes and NQ. It's 0, down to the tick. There's no settings apart from I just filter to see the orders, and there you go. We come up to those 67s. Próxima vez com a camisola do Ronaldo. Yes, I don't have one actually. My kids do. They're proper Portuguese. What leverage and position size do you use for that short? Okay, so that nominal value for that short is I always have to double check because it changes depending on price. That was $435,245. That is the nominal value for one NQ contract. Okay, it costs $4.50 round trip. That is all you pay to open and close that trade. Okay, so in fees. So when you compare with crypto, it's a lot cheaper. So for a 400, let's say 435, it only cost me less than $5 to open and close that trade. And the amount of capital required to open that trade is only $1,000. So on the exchange, I have more than $1,000, which means I can open more than 1 or 2 or 3 contracts. But for one of nominal value of 435, you need at least, you need to send a little bit more, obviously. But that is the required leverage. So it's different to trading crypto, but in a nutshell, it's kind of like the same thing. And we're lingering here around that key level 65. Which broker you use for trading yes and NQ? I can't recommend anything, but my broker is AMP using CQG, okay, M futures, and then I also use Optimus futures with the rhythmic feed. So I chose that because I like to trade the micros on BTC futures. Great stream, thank you. Will price go up or down for the next? This is such a nice question. In the chat, you let me know, because the Devil Zero wants to know, will price go up or down in the next 15 minutes? We don't know. We can only just look at the charts. I mean, it's likely that we'll go to 750 now, and we're going, and look at that. We came up to our levels, and now we're going to finish the other side. It's kind of like picture perfect. But look, back at the, that settlement price there is so cool to see, isn't it? Oops. We don't want to do that. Let's just turn it off. We want to just push this over. But there you go. It's nice to see the respect around that settlement, right? That's what it is. Especially if you put a line chart here, an area you can see. Look below, back above it, changing structure, retest what? The settlement, and now we're ready to go down to the next level, which is the 50s. Right there. And we'll witness this here together, coming down to the 50s. I'm going to change my other screen to NQ. NQ, where's NQ? NQ. BTC. EP. Then we'll take a look at the at Bitcoin to see what's going on. Yeah, low spread this morning, even though there's quite a bit of a liquidity going on in here. We're just coming down to it now. Oops, no bars. Let's put candles. Okay, the open just below 750. Yeah, we've got 21,744. You can see it here on my screen. So this is the full session open right there. We've looked below the slow here, but it's nice to see the respect of this. We could have jumped on that short trade there, but I'll save my ammunition now for the market later. Igor, how come you are doing this for free for the public while everyone else pay a lot of money for the content like this? I don't know, because I don't know. Yeah, it's nice to come and do some live trade with you guys, I guess. But yeah, I hope you've learned something. I mean, I hope I've been able to share over the past couple of hours or whatever, how long we are sharing this. I hope you've been able to appreciate, the content, the quality of it. I'm only showing things that, institutional traders look at, such as RTH sessions, the market profile, things like Jim Dalton highly preaches and teaches the market profile. And the reason for that is because it's honestly next to none. You can honestly learn and dive down to this content and really come out of it thinking, wow, I knew nothing before I know market profile, because it really opens. It's like an X-ray vision really for price action. And I absolutely love what Quantower did with the request I did for the market profile. That's amazing. Obviously TradingView and the templates that we use are just purely looking at things that institutional again use. And let me just show you one example of something that works really well on BTC before I take a look at the chat. But one thing that works really well on BTC is just the good old, and look, the clue is in the name, it's the good old simple 200 moving average. And you can see how beautiful since 2026, that was our entries, 26, 27s. Since then, this market has been each and every day. Okay, so this was the first attempt of reclaim, break, reclaim, right there at 20,000. I didn't buy that. Break above, come back down, do nothing. But the first initial touch there, 25, didn't buy that either. I bought the back. And this is when it came above, and that's it. Since then, we've held that 200 simple daily moving average on BTC. Look at this. So, we go up, we make another all-time high at 75. We come all the way back down, touch it once, touch it twice, look below, fail, back above, retest, go again. And then we go and make another all-time high at 100K. We then look below, front, run it, no closes, look back above it, and then go through it, proper test, reclaim, go, and again, another all-time high at 110. Each and every time, the all-time highs are becoming smaller, but it's still trending higher. So if anyone says BTC is bearish, must be delusional. BTC can go all the way down to 88K and it's still bullish. Why? Because when you zoom out, the higher time frame trend line is saying we're in a beautiful uptrend. When this trend line starts to do something like this, which can take 6 months or more, then we can say, all right, well, maybe BTC is now trading below here. We can short the pullback. Okay, well, I didn't short 100, but I can short 80 and look for the low still, for example. So a lot of traders want to have that Twitter post. That's why I don't post much on Twitter or X or whatever, because there's no need, honestly. You give someone something, they want more. So why post? Don't post, just keep it quiet. It's nice to come here, do a stream for you guys, just to see what is possible when you know what to look. But yeah, this is just simply, you're all used to look at the candles, so let's pop the candles back in. But this is just simply Bitcoin, higher time frame, 24-hour, RTH, very important. And then put a line chart there, give this color so that it's crisp. And you can see that we are holding, well, trying to hold, It's not holding, it's trying to hold. The only pivot here. Failed this pivot, we're going lower. Minimum. And that's why we're boxing in price here. So I'm alerted if price goes to the upside, make my informed decision. If price breaks the lows and goes to the downside, I'll make my decision. So it's very much like being in sync with this market. And right now the market is saying, I'm not sure what's next. And nobody knows. Okay, we could go high, we could go low. Currently is a waiting game for that next high probability trade. And look at that. Voila. We have hit that 750. Target is reached. And look how long it took for them to cook and really work this liquidity. So for everybody else out there that talks about liquidity, if they're not looking at this, they're talking nonsense. They're guessing. They're saying, oh, there's liquidity here. There's liquidity here. Let me just mark this again. Oh yeah, there's liquidity above this high. Really? Let me have a look. There's none. There is a little bit here. There was a little bit, but it stopped here. You can see there. There's nothing else there. The next liquidity is at 720. There's a little bit at 35, but that's it, really. So if anyone talks about liquidity, you ask them, show me. Show me the money. Show me the orders. Anyway. Oh, wow. Quite a few comments though. There you go. How do you... Okay. Igor, how come you... Okay, we did that. What indicator do you use on... No, well, this is it. The Quant Hour... Oh, I'm there. So Quant Hour, you can just right-click. Okay, you can just right-click. Let me just... I'll tell you what. Let me just do this. I'm going to hide everything. So this is all hidden price now. And I'm going to hide the value area high and value area high, low. So this is all clean, this chart. I'm actually going to delete these drawings because I don't want those. So you can just right click, go to view. I don't think you can see that on your screen because I've got a screen shared. But you can just disable and enable this as well as previous day high, previous day low, daily open, open price. You know, you've got all the levels there. So look, previous day high. This is the current low. This is the daily open. It's all here. So this is why, again, Quant Tower wins hands down any other software that I've seen come across, including Atos, because it's just so professional, and you've got all the tools here at your disposal. So yeah, pretty easy. So yeah, no need for indicator. You can just right click and go view and then just plot it on your chart. Trading streams. Do you go with certain buyers with your trading today? Yes, I always do my top-down analysis. Okay, I always do. What tick size on BTC TPO? BTC TPO, tick 10. You can look at tick 10, 5 to 10. Igor, let it cook. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the debts in the US has been always increasing. It was 5 trillion, then 10, then 17. Now, yeah, 17. So it's going to keep increasing until it's broken. Replace the dollars. Maybe, who knows? I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe it'll go back to gold. Maybe. 200 SMA on the daily. Today, prefer SMA. What intraday would you be... okay, good question. Black and blue. My perfect one will be 2. I've got 2. Basically 1 minute, 50 SMA. So 1 minute. This is really nice. And then again, the 30 minute and 1 minute for the 50 SMA. That's it. Can I use Quantum for free? Yes, if you have a Bybit account or AMP account, you get all full features. In fact, I think you also get if you trade props. I remember someone talking about Top Step. I think they give you for free with all things as well. So, I mean, come on, it's not no-brainer. Thanks for the pro tip. Very useful, mate. You are very welcome. Great stream. Thank you. And that's it. Right. Just before I wrap up, any other questions? Quickly, please. We have about 254 likes. There's 400 people here. Come on. The rest of the people that haven't touched the like, come on, give us a like. We had a nice trade. I've shared a few gold nuggets. Yeah, if we can push that up to what? 280 maybe? I'll do another stream soon. How about that? And then we can maybe find another trade like we did today. And yeah, pay the bills. Pay the bills. So yeah. Any more questions? Because if not, then I'm going to say I love you and leave you. And go take the dog for a walk. And then come back for New York session open. But yeah, happy to answer a couple more questions. How do you keep your emotions in check and stop yourself from revenge trading and getting bodied? Well, with discipline, and there was a question the other day about discipline, but basically you want to really have a routine, and that routine has to be even before you sit at your desk. Before you sit at your desk here, I mean, you can see my setup here. Before you sit here, you have to have that plan. You have to come with that cool, calm, collected. And you have to basically have your plan. You have to come in and do your levels and check the market. I absolutely love just looking at this. I will come here any day, look at, and I'm gonna, for this reason, I'm gonna use a bigger tick size. I'm gonna go tick 10 on ES. It's gonna look very ugly. Well, not ugly, but you know, there you go. I like to come here and just look at value, and like value for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days is going higher. So that tells me that the long trades overall play a better role. And then deep down, when I go down to a lower time frame, I can say, okay, well, but we're a resistance. I can take a short scalp into those longs. That's how I like to do it. But you need to have that consistency on your planning, on your journaling. I use TradeViz. You can use TradeZella. Just log your trades, know where you're wrong, and accept that you're wrong. And that's only when you're going to learn. Like, you're not going to learn if you just, you know, press the button, and then you don't have anything to measure it. You need to measure it. You need to say, okay, well, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? You know, okay, I was too early. Okay, well, next time I'm not going to be that early. I'm going to wait. Wait for what? Well, I need confirmation. So maybe look at something like DSF. Maybe look at something like this. When people talk about liquidity, say, okay, but what is liquidity? Well, liquidity is real live orders. How can I see them? Well, you need a level 2. What do you need for that? You need to pay for the market data, level 2. When you have that, and a software like Bookmap or Quantower, Atis also has it now, and it's good. I've made a template for that too. So if you prefer Atis, you can actually get this data in Atis. And then you say, okay, well, there's liquidity. Maybe I can form a plan or a strategy that if we're trading and making lower lows and lower highs, and there's a big, massive liquidity down at the 70s, for example, here, 750s, if I get a little pullback up to VWAP or whatever, I'm going to try and get that short down to the liquidity. And there you go. There's your $400. Walk away, make your, let's say, you know, $1,000 or 700 or 300. I mean, 300 is like a lot per year. Just multiply that and you'll be like, wow, that's actually a nice salary. So, you know, just do a trade a day and walk away. That's it. Then you don't feel the urge to trade anymore. That's it. Just have a solid plan. Anyway, that was a rant, sorry. But you asked the question, so I answered. Okay. Thanks for everything. You are welcome. Igor, I love you. You opened my eyes today. How can I be part of your team? Black and blue, just join. Join Chat Champions. You can be a contender. I'm always there. I mean, even yesterday, I was explaining the one-time framing break when I was getting into the long. A lot of people got into the long. We took the long. But it was not a guessing game. It was what I was seeing live. And like when I do my daily plans, I don't say buy here, sell there. I give like 3 levels. And all of those levels had a meaningful kind of like, not theory, but context behind it. And then it's very much like, okay, if and when, or when and if we get to those levels, we can then go down here to these things called order flow and say, okay, what's actually happening? Do we have, you know, do we have those orders? Can we see the volume backing those orders? Can we see, you know, do we have traders that are trapped, you know, at the highs here? Can we see traders trapped at the lows? So we can zoom in and use things like clusters to see that information. So it may look overwhelming, but once you learn one component, you move to the next one. That's it. You know, there's really nothing else to be added. It's just a matter of like getting used to it. But yeah, always happy to see you. Templates, don't forget. Yes, okay. Did you take the trade at 45? Can't remember what that 45 is. Okay. Oh, there you go. Daniel, I think Daniel is in the house, or one of the team. Thank you, Igor. You are welcome. But honestly, I always forgot, like, you gave me a reminder. Thank you, mate. The background, look at this. I have my 1080 Ti rocking on a shelf. That was such a beautiful card. I used to mine Bitcoin with a few of those, and I still have that one there. And that one is fully functional, and I'm going to frame it. I'm going to frame that 1080 Ti. Such a relic now. Such a relic. Can you tell me more about your entry triggers and what I think that's more a lesson using TPO and BTC. Yes, BTC. Yes, on TPO, yes, always. I'm always using this RTH chart. I'm always looking at this. This is the respect next to none. Don't take my word for it. Pop it on your charts and just look at it, especially when you see things like this. I mean, take 2 seconds and look at this, okay? So ignore the next day, but look at this gap up. And then look at the next day, how beautiful this is. We open at the low of the gap. That to me was a telltale sign that is just so beautiful. That 110 short was mwah, so good. And then boom, breaks lower, gap, sign of change. A lot of people buying this, and we know, well, don't buy it. Just look at the RTH and see there's a gap. It's a sign of change. We're going lower, lower, lower. Someone asked the question, what does a abandoned bearish baby means? Well, it's bearish because it's got a gap in between. You can see it right there. So this is a gap. So when you come and fill the gap, the direction is down with that context. And this was all explained on this day, Friday. We got that. We had the close down here. There's the settlement right there. So here, that was the settlement. Oops. Right here. And then we explained, I came in on the Friday morning. I explained, this is what I would like to see. Boom, move back up, close the gap, done. And we shorted that. Why? Because of that context. Abandoned baby. Sorry. If you had to choose 2 or 3 confluence, what would that be for scalping? This, just one. I would just use I can use just this. I can just be here looking at this and seeing, okay, where is the actual, I mean, look at that. We've cleaned the 750, okay? 750, we've come back to retest it. This, we could be seeing the low of day here, for example. I mean, not the low of day, but you know what I mean? Like, this could be a nice low here, but I feel like we might push down still. Because we are at a good key level. It's the 30 SMA. We could push and go to 2100. Sorry, 21,900. In fact, let me just see something here. Yeah, there you go. So I feel, oh, look at that beautiful pivot. I feel if we hold that 30, or even if we go back below, clean the overnight low. Where's the overnight low? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's this morning's low. If we clean the overnight low and reclaim, I see price trade to 21. Well, look at that. It's first 21,900. First target for today. If we can claim this level later. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And that is a nice runner. And we basically have a little bit of a pocket that we can get there. Loving the run. Sorry. Sometimes I go a little bit off piece, but I gotta do it sometimes. The best in the trading game world. Disagree. Nice. Can we see the OI and MA? No, you can't see the OI, open interest in NQ. Yes, you can. However, every day go over to the CME website and take the data. So you can see, for example, if today and tomorrow you get increase on open interest and you have higher prices, then you know it's new longs opening. Okay, you can make a really good informed decision with that. Nice. And that is it. I will love you and leave you. Thank you very much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Please smash the likes. We've got 4 left for 300. Come on, if there's 4 people here feeling happy, there you go. 5 left to a 300 likes, and that's it. I'll be doing another one very soon. Hopefully some nice trades like today. And price was very slow, but we still managed to get a couple. But yeah, I will see you on the next one. Thank you and goodbye. Happy trading.